past the creaky metal gates, through the fog-enveloped graveyard, you find yourself on the rickety old porch of a long-forgotten home. Beyond the threshold sits a man obsessed, a tortured soul, cursed to discover all about the Southern California haunt community and beyond. You have now entered the domain of the Creepcast with Rick Creeper. You're listening to the Creepcast.
Okay, everybody, how's it going? This is episode 22 with Jacob and Dave Larson from Pirates Cave Haunt, based here in Orange County, California. What was I just saying about messing up? But I already did. For those who don't know, the Pirates Cave Haunt has been providing family-friendly scares to Southern California area for over 20 years. I got that up your website, actually. A labor of love between the father and son team of Dave and Jacob Larson at their home in Orange County, California. How we doing, boys?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for coming down. I know you got a busy schedule. I like the fact you wear the t-shirts, I feel left out, so I'll wear my Rat Coffee t-shirt.
Well, I was not going to wear mine today, and he's like, you need to wear it. And I'm like, we're not going to be on video. Like, why does it matter?
But it makes sense. It's the vibe, It was funny because I looked out the window, I'm like, where are they at? And I see two dudes I never seen before with matching shirts. I'm like, there they are. And I was like, at perfect timing, the cops are out front. I was like, really? The cops are here? But apparently someone's car got hit, so they're taking a police report.
Oh, God.
I was like, at least it wasn't a crime. I'm like, perfect timing, a first impression. Well, that's great. So thank you for coming down. I know you guys are busy with everything going on. So it's going to be a big year for 2021. So,
oh, yeah.
So I'm going to throw out my first question, and either one of you can answer it. So it's going to be, tell us in your own words, what's the storyline or backstory of Pirates Cave?
Well, we didn't really have a backstory necessarily for Pirates Cave before last year when we did Origins. It's kind of just what we had to make up while we were going. But around August last year, when we saw Not Scary Farm and all them were closing, we were like, hey, we don't know if we can do the walkthrough anymore because COVID and stuff. I don't know. We don't want to talk about COVID, but yeah, we had to do something different. So that was our substitute. We did Origins, and I wrote, my dad tasked me, he's like, okay, you need to write this story about our haunt. So, but he's like, use props that we had from the walkthrough and put them into the story. So it's easier to do the show without making new props and new scenes and stuff. So I was like, okay.
That makes sense.
So I began writing the story about like August or something like that. And I included the Kraken, I included the pirate chest, I included all that. So
the fire effects.
Yeah, the fire. So I kind of just made it up last year, and then I sent it over to him, and he made a couple changes, and then it was locked in. So we didn't even really know the origin story until last year, and we've been doing it since you've been doing it since 99. So
yeah, but it hasn't been Pirates that long. I'd say it's been Pirates maybe 8 years now. Imagine.
Yeah,
I went to your guys' dress rehearsal. Oh, yeah. And then when you hear the word home haunt, you're like, okay, it's gonna be store-bought props or maybe some makeshift. I walked on, I'm like, what is this, a sound stage for Universal Studios? I'm like, the lighting, and then just like the you guys had a water effect too?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then just like the soundscape, I'm like, are we backstage at Universal? What the heck? And it blew my mind. And just like the amount of tech you guys invested, and just the imagination that from the both of you, and it just created this crazy immersive, what was it, a 5-10 minute show?
7 minutes.
8 or 7, yeah.
And the voiceover, it's all pirates. I can't do the voice. My voice is messed up right now. But I was like, this is insane. And then I don't know what it's called, but it's like the scaffolding or the it's like the towers you guys had the lights on.
The light towers.
There we go. I was like, how in the hell did they get away with this? And I was like, obviously somebody knows somebody that works for the city. I'm like, Jesus, this is insane. Blew my mind. It was, for years I wanted to go. I just could never go because either I was working or just, you can't do everything. There's so much to do here in Southern California. It just, there's the big parks, the Independence, the home haunts. You can't go everywhere. And it gets to the point like I'm completely wiped out by November. And there was even sometimes I had no voice till like Thanksgiving because I was screaming like a maniac. But that's another story. So when did this all start with you, Dave? Tell the listeners about your very first year Correct me if I'm wrong. You came out dressed as the Phantom of the Opera with a shovel in the front yard.
Yeah, I did. That was back in '99. We had just bought the house, I think, that month. I think we moved in like October 1st or something like that. So, I had been building haunted houses forever. I started back, maybe when I was 8 years old in my folks' garage building them then. But, there was a good amount of time where I wasn't building them because we didn't have any kind of location, So was very excited in '99 to buy this house. And I was like, shoot, we can start doing haunted houses again,
That's cool.
So it was just me in the front yard because we were doing like yard work at the time. So the yard was already torn up. The shovel was probably already out there.
The shovel was out. Well, since the shovel's here, I might as well just get in costume.
Yeah, it was totally last minute. And I just I held up kids would come up for candy, and I would first hold up the measuring tape, and measure how high they were, and I'd turn and start to continue digging the grave there.
So you're measuring to bury them.
Yeah.
Were the kids terrified?
Oh yeah. A couple times a parent, my mom would be like, "Okay, son, we need to go." Oh no, here's the candy.
Wow, even the parents. That's hilarious.
So that taught me. It's like, maybe I better hand out the candy first and then measure them.
Hey, they got to earn it. The hell with that. So were you the same age as Jacob when you peaked in interest, like in Halloween and like the home haunts or just haunted houses in general?
Oh yeah. Early on, we had a friend that was building a haunted house in his garage. I was like, "What? You can do that? What?" And I never even went to it, but just the thought of some guy building a haunted house in his garage just piqued my interest. I was like, I want to do that. I
think the extent of my haunted houses as a kid, I had like a $15 cloak from JCPenney's and like I think like a candle, and then I rigged up some fishing line to the bushes. And I was in the front yard digging as a grave digger, shocker. And then when the kids got to the front of the door, and I had the spooky music on a cassette tape, and I'd have to run in and turn it around and play it again, like side A and B. And all the lights are out. And my parents had these, the up lights on the house, and had a red and green one. And when the kids got to the door, I stopped digging and grabbed the fishing line, tug on the bushes. And they're like, to me, that was the coolest thing. And they're like, oh, freaking out. And I was just like the grave digger with a cloak.
Yeah.
That was so cheesy. Oh my gosh.
Your fishing line thing reminds me of one of my early gags in my folks' garage. I had one of those Willie Talk ventriloquist dummies. You ever seen those things?
I think so, yeah.
So he's got the string, and the gag was I put him up in the rafters. I put a string on him. So I had this base station, had 3 or 4 strings that would pull things. So the Willie Talk guy would fall out of the rafters on people.
Imagine you end up hitting someone in the head with it, too.
Yes, he had a hard head, too.
That's hilarious. So oh my God, this is so creepy. That guy just got hit in the head. I'm going to sue. No,
so authentic.
I have to blame my dad, though, way back, man. My dad had this scary monkey mask, man. And he would put that thing on every now and then and chase us around the house, and I hated it.
So he definitely corrupted you when it came to
something affected my brain, I think, back then.
I think he still has that mask. He would scare me when I was a kid, too, with that mask.
And it's probably the cheesiest mask, and he's probably doing one of these. No one can see this. He's probably his arms up in the air. My dad would put on my masks, and the dogs would freak out. But my dad didn't realize the mask was turned off to the side, so he could only see it in one eye hole. I'm like, Dad, and it was this horrible mask with a black wig, and it was a skull, and the dogs would freak out, and my dad would chase him around the house. He was a weirdo. A second year, I did a home haunt, and it was a little more elaborate. And my dad allowed me to come into the front entrance of the house, and then into the living room, into our dining room. In the dining room, I cut it off. And we we had people hanging out in the dining room or whatever. And I think Halloween landed on a Monday Night Football. And my dad was a diehard Los Angeles Rams fan. And you could hear my dad yelling at the TV, damn it, Rams. And it's oh my God, yelling. I'm like, Dad, you're breaking the immersion, and it's people are supposed to be creeped out, and they hear this, 40-year-old man yelling at the TV screen. That was scary. Yeah. Yeah. Just, those are my early memories. Just putting up this black tarp to create a tunnel. And just we created fog with dry ice. I didn't even have a fog machine back then, and it was the cassette tape you got and it's all, do not listen by yourself, and you'd have to run in and go from side A to side B, and I put the speakers in the window, and just maybe some cheesy props from wherever, Spencer's gift shop. That's just, those are my fondest memories.
That's how everybody starts, though. It's even when he started way back, and even when I was a kid, it wasn't that elaborate. It was kind of just a couple skeletons inside a castle wall, just in our front entranceway. They would just go in and then come out the same way. And everybody starts out that way. Like you don't just start out with this elaborate production, this elaborate walkthrough. Everybody starts out very small, and every year it just gets better and better and better.
That's like me. I listened to the first couple episodes of the podcast. I'm like, oh my God, those are terrible. And now I'm like, okay, I'm kind of figuring it out. It grows over time. I was like, hey, I listened to your episodes starting from 1. I'm like, oh God, can we just delete those from history? So when did the home haunt officially become the Pirate Caves theme? Prior to Jacob coming into the picture, was it strictly you?
Yeah. I'd say it was probably 8 years ago or so. My wife came home with this pirate's wheel from like a TJ Maxx or Marshall's, just this odd thing. She said, I thought this was cool. You can make something. I was like, I bet you we can make the pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean steering the wheel in the storm. So that's where it all started. I was like, well, let's build that. And then that turned out pretty cool. And then we started thinking, it's like, you know what? Pirates is kind of a cool theme for Halloween, you know, because before that it was always a mishmash of things. We had skeletons and stuff, and then we had the head turning from Haunted Mansion that would follow you. It was just complete mix of things. Like you'd say, we'd get them from Spirit Halloween or whatever.
And I think we had like a head and a crystal ball outside too that I loved so much.
I think I had one of those from Home Depot. It was so cool. Yeah. It's the coolest thing.
So there was a point where we decided, no, we're going to do pirates, and we like got rid of a ton of stuff. You know, no, it doesn't fit the theme. And my wife would get mad. You know, we got rid of that really nice turning head and gave that to my brother. You know, it's like, if it's not pirates, we're not doing it, because it became really important early on that we want to have a theme and we want everything to kind of match for immersion. You know?
Like we can't have the scarecrow inside this pirate theme. We have to get rid of that. It's like, that's cool. I mean, I dig the vibe, the theme, and you don't see a lot of that style of a haunt, like a pirate's theme. So it's very unique. And at the same time, your guys' production and lighting and sound, it's definitely sensory overload. Like I was just quiet watching, and I was in the distance just watching you guys do dress rehearsal. I was like, this is insane. And I'm like, I was dumbfounded, and I was just like in the car driving home. I'm like, and I told Michael, and I think it was me, Michael, and Nick, I'm all, dude, that's like Disneyland quality. What the heck have they been doing? I was like, this is insane. And you guys adapted amazingly just to the situation of last year, and still provided a really cool experience for everybody.
Well, it's funny, like you probably went on like the worst night. That was like the first night when we were like telling our actors what, like staging them where they need to be and stuff, and it was just awful. Like
it was bad.
I'm pretty sure you saw it, but over all those nights it got better. But that night specifically, like there were the actors were like, oh, you need to go out the entryway and throw this body in the chest, and like the first time we told that, they come out with the body and the chest is already closed. And they're standing there with the body.
No, you got to time it.
What do we do? So it definitely got better and better from when you first saw it. But that was one of the biggest things last year. Was that timing? Yeah, and staging those actors, because they were just my high school friends. They don't really have any acting experience. It's kind of just what we tell them to do.
I noticed somebody was cracking the whip over here, then the actors just like, get in position. You know, no, I'm just kidding. So Jacob, question for you. What were your earliest memories of your dad putting together the haunt? Also, what made you a fan of Halloween and haunts, besides obviously your dad doing it for all those years?
Well, back when I was a kid, we had a really strong, like our street had a really strong, like all the houses were doing like Halloween stuff. Like not all of them, but like there were at least 3 or 4 that were doing it besides us. Okay. And it really just made a really special place in my heart. Like every year I really look forward to that. Like in Neighbors in the Cul-de-sac, he was a scenic painter for like Dark Harbor and stuff, and he would bring stuff in from his shop and actually would set up like a little walkthrough in his driveway.
That's cool.
And then when he moved out, he moved it to the other neighbor's house, and they kind of did in their front entryway. So I thought it was really cool to have a bunch of houses that did that. And then further down the street, we had a guy that did a chainsaw, and a guy that's stilt walker. He hasn't done.
What kind of neighborhood was this?
Yeah,
it's like circus freaks.
But yeah, it was really awesome to have that. And like, of course, we would have our haunt too, even though it was super small back then. It was kind of just the front entryway. And then when I was a kid, he kind of set up, because at first there were really no actors in there. He would kind of recruit the other neighborhood kids to act when I was too small. But then one year I'm like, hey, I want to act in it. So I would kind of, on Halloween, it was just Halloween. We would never do it before that, like before the weekend. So it was just Halloween. I would go out and trick or treat for like a first hour, and then like the last couple hours I would go in there and scare and stuff. So he would actually, the first couple of years, he set up a drop panel in there, for instance. So like,
those are the best.
Yeah,
I love those.
He made like a drop panel for me, and I had that back there, like a little switch that would turn on a strobe light, and I would drop the drop panel and come out of people with like a wonky like scarecrow mask or something like that with a weird shirt on that didn't even match the theme. But yeah, it was really cool memories like that, and then kind of getting the other neighborhood kids. Then he would put up like another scare. It was like this little box right when they walked in with like a skull head on top, and then we would sitting below that, and we would open up the lid and like pop out and scare people too. It was just like really cool stuff like that really got me into Halloween. And then it just went from there. A couple years later, we got our octopus tentacles, and then went over like the slats and all that, and then it really just made me feel like Halloween was a special place. Like, everybody always thought I was crazy for liking Halloween for my favorite holiday. They're like, oh, Christmas is so much better, you get gifts and all that. I'm like, no, because I like Halloween because I get to bring joy to other people.
That's what it's about. Yeah, thank you.
It's like, I know people will think it's like, oh, like you're scaring people, whatever, but it's like the emotion they feel afterwards, like when they leave the haunt. They're like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. I want to do that. Like, I want to inspire people or make them feel like happy they went to that. So like, oh my gosh, like that one, that one scare that got me? Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Like, just having that vibe that leaves with people, I really enjoy that, and that's why it's my favorite holiday.
The fact that you guys lived in this community or neighborhood that everyone was involved, and just you had different houses decorating, the kids were. I love that. That reminds me of my childhood. Like, it was like the cheesiest setup, like of a paper mache coffin, and then like the cauldron bubbling with dry ice, and like someone was out there dressed as Dracula. That to me is my fondest memories. And the fact that this entire community was involved and it inspired you guys both. That's what it's about. It's about the community. Yes, it's fun to scare people, and half the time I'm laughing when they walk away, or I have to look away and laugh, or just I love Christmas as well. I love to decorate, but Halloween has always been that a holiday when I was a kid, so I could totally relate. And I want to move into this neighborhood where you guys grew up at. Is this stilt walkers, people from Dark Harbor, and it's like that's insane. Oh my gosh!
It's actually that guy that was across the street who used to do scenic painting, I think for Knott's too, I believe so. He still does a little bit of scenic work for us, so he'll come in, like we'll have a couple props, like, hey, we need you to paint this for us. We can paint, but it's not as good as him. We're always like, hey, come over and paint this box for us. Like, he painted our air cannon boxes last year, and just they look so good.
Well, we got to drop his name. His name is Rich Guerrero. He used to live across the street from us, and we miss having him in the neighborhood. And he's just been fantastic, coming in and help us paint some of these props and make them look amazing.
That's cool that the community came together and worked together, and then just passion projects. Exactly. I've done things I didn't expect a dime, and when I got paid, I'm like, I'm getting paid for this. It's helping build facades with Sinister Point, or help build, with Michael 1870, or I'll help build the Whole House Haunt with Bill Galvin, my buddy, who I always give him a hard time about everything, and just collaborating and doing things for free, and it's nice to make a little money, but ultimately that's secondary. No monetary value has more value than just being passionate about it and just getting a self gratification out of it.
Exactly.
Okay. So, a question for the both of you: what haunted attractions or theme parks inspire you guys both?
Personally, I can kind of speak for both of us. So, like, we really, really love Knott's. We love Horror Nights too. Don't get us wrong; their sets and stuff are really cool. But the one thing we struggle with Horror Nights is that their whole park's not decorated.
True.
Like, we love Knott's because the whole park, there's actors running around, there's cobweb on the walls, there's just everywhere. It's really cool. We like just that immersion everywhere you go. But I think he started bringing back in 2015. I think that was the first year they did Paranormal Inc. And I remember that was like one of the first mazes we went through, and it was just it was crazy for me to see that quality of haunted attractions, because I've never been to like Scary Farm or any of those before.
That was your first experience?
Yeah, Paranormal Inc. was my first maze.
I was creeped out going there 2 years ago, and I'm in my 40s. Jeez.
Yeah, so I was definitely scared back then of those haunted attractions, but like that Paranormal Inc. was really what changed my mindset. I think that's maybe even what inspired me too. My dad obviously inspired me to love Halloween and get into the building haunts, but like seeing that crazy stuff they did in Paranormal Inc. Like the first pre-show room with like that lady flying overhead.
Right.
The whole wall's projected, and like those walls open up, and you can go down 2 pathways. It's
channel
like,
A or channel B. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was like mind blowing to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like if they can do that here, like I feel like I want to start doing that. I want to implement this crazy technology. Like I'm really gravitate towards like the back end sort of stuff, like technology. I'm really good with like I'm good with scenic painting and like building and stuff, but I gravitate more towards like video editing and sound effects and all that. I really love that stuff. But yeah, Scary Farm is I think our favorite. Do you want to?
No, I would say the same. I mean, not to undercut Halloween Horror Nights, their mazes are amazing, you know, and potentially even a little bit better than Knott's mazes, but just Knott's Berry Farm, the whole park being themed, you know, the whole park being scary. I really like that, you know, rather than, you know, Halloween Horror Nights where you're walking by, you see Homer Simpson, you know, out there.
You see Starbucks, and I'm like, that's not scary, you know. I totally agree.
But yeah, their mazes at Horror Nights are really well done, like the quality, and I love the scares they have there. The trigger scares, I hit the button, and then has the audio and the light. That's the most effective type of scare, in my opinion. It saves your actors too, because we've learned over the years without having those, your actors just get worn out. Their voices get ragged, and they just get worn out over all those nights. So it's like those type of scares is what we gravitate towards. We love the original. Don't get us wrong. We love the original scares too, using your voice and shaker cans too. But I think there's a new type of scare coming in that's possibly defeating that old type of scare that I gravitate towards more.
No, I agree. You feel entirely immersed in Knott's. I mean, I was coming out of the bathroom, not expecting actors to be there. You know, I'm taking care of business, about to come out, and they come out and scare the hell out of me. I'm like, dude, I just used the bathroom, really? And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
And then I as much as I love Universal, it's their sound sets, their sounds and IPs and all that. There's parts of the park where it seems not as focused on, and I'm walking past, you know, a Starbucks or like a gift shop that's all Simpsons related, and I'm like, that's the thing. I feel like they break immersion. This is why I don't know if either one of you been to the hayride yet.
No.
It feels like a carnival out in the woods, and you're right there in Griffith Park, and all it is that you walk up and you see the signature, their tower of pumpkins, and it's just hay bales, hay on the floor, and orange lights and fog. And you feel like you go into like a street fair or a street carnival in like Midtown USA in this fictional world, and it's just a Halloween town. So you feel immersed in the mazes. You feel immersed in their midway on the rides. And when you go on the actual hayride, the trailer, they take you into the deep part of the park, and it's less scary, the actual hayride attraction, and it's more theatrics, and it's more like immersion. And I know immersion can mean anything, but that's what I like about it, because you forget where you're at, and it gets dark, and you're like, dude, and we don't have hayrides here, not that I know of. And the mazes are pretty cool, but like, for example, it's just like Universal, I'm walking around, and I'm like, oh, we're in Springfield. Okay, cool. You know, there's no actors. It's the regular lighting, but you go through Knott's, and I'm walking through, you know, whatever part of Ghost Town, and then, you know, there's like, there's the beef cloth up on the buildings, the lighting, the fog, and there's music, even like, you know, main gate. Like, I'm like, the one thing I will say, you mentioned Paranormal Inc. I forget what year it was. I don't know who it was, the actor. They must have known who I was, or they picked up on how much of I'm a chicken. They would not leave me alone, like from like the show moment where you could go down channel A or B.
Yeah.
That creature, that character, or whatever, they follow me like literally like for the next 5 scares. I'm like, oh dude, I get it. I'm like, leave me alone. And then they went, where are you going, Rick? And I jumped. I'm like, oh, who is that? And then they disappeared. I'm like, you son of a, you know. Yeah. But that blew my mind. That just even the facade. When I'm assuming a lot of that was foam. I don't know. A lot of it was foam carving, the facade for the asylum.
I don't know. It looks great. It was a great facade, but yeah, I can speak. Going back to just saying how scared you get, I can speak for that, because going to Reign of Terror with you, like whenever somebody jump out, you grab my back like, oh,
you go first. I'm like, no, you guys go first. It's like,
it was so funny. I was like, me and Michael were looking at everything, like, oh my gosh, look at that light, and then all of a sudden somebody pop up, and I feel somebody grabbing on my backpack and like tugging.
I was trying to save Jacob. That's what it was, and I wasn't shielding myself.
You're probably more scared of Rick grabbing you than the actual scare.
I was like, oh, are you okay, Jacob? And as I'm moving in front of me and the character, I know because we were speaking of Reign of Terror, we went for their halfway to Halloween event.
Yep, yeah.
And I love their facades. They're cute. They pay attention to details, lighting. You and me were like, oh my God, look at those jack-o'-lanterns. Look at the lighting. And you guys were taking notes.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend and her friend, Michael, well, he's my friend too. My girlfriend's, oh, I don't get scared. I only react. Sure. I react because people, okay, tough guy, you go first. And every scare, the props or animations, they were jumping. Yeah. And we purposely laid back. I'm like, you know what? Let them deal with it. It's like, it's going to happen. But I think you and me were geeking out on everything, just like lighting, decor, details, the themes. I just went from theme to theme to theme. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Yeah. And yes, I was a big chicken in there. So
yeah, that was a fun experience though.
So when did you come aboard on the builds, Jacob? Looks like you didn't have a choice based on your dad and the neighborhood you lived in.
It probably took a while for the builds. It was probably back in maybe 2015. I wasn't doing much back then. I was kind of just helping him, like, hold this for me or something like that. Hold this drill gun for a while. I hold this up or something. But yeah, every year I would do more and more. So I think really in like 2018 that's when I started, like, he had me like getting stuff down from the attic. He had me starting like screw this together, put this up. And then like 2019, that's really when I started getting into it. We were kind of getting neck and neck for what the amount of work we were doing. And then 2020, obviously when we were doing Origins, that's when I started really getting into like the design aspect. Like that's when I wrote our story. That's when I edited the 2 video screens on the side and stuff. That's when I really started getting into the design aspect of it. But yeah, that was back in maybe 2015 or something like that, 2014.
Do you feel like you, at a certain point, that you wore multiple hats, or did you gravitate more to like set and story design, or maybe like more tech? Are you more of like the builder, or are you more of like the creative writer and storyteller? Well, not storyteller, but like let's say you're developing the storyline and storyboards.
Well, it probably, I don't know, that's tough. Back when I first started, I really didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I was kind of just doing everything. I was acting, I was putting up stuff. I think I maybe edited a couple audio tracks, but it wasn't really nothing yet. But 2019, I think, is where I started to realize what I was starting to get good at. I realized that my video editing was good. I was like, okay, I kind of have a good area in that. And then the audio editing, I edited our first room with a pirate chest. I did the octopus room, the scare, after that, and the fire room, all of that. So that's when I started to really get into that aspect. But 2020, I did the story writing and stuff. I like story writing, but I don't think that's where I'm strong at. I can do it. It's just not my, what's that word? I don't know. But it's not my strong point.
Okay.
But yeah, 2020, I think what I realize now what I'm good at is I'm really good at the back end stuff, like I said earlier. I like to do the video editing. I like to start designing these rooms and these characters and stuff. Yeah, shoot, I can't think of anything more.
That's fine. Yeah, you actually kind of answered my next question. Who's drawn to what? Jacob, are you more like into tech and lighting and effects?
Oh yeah.
Dave, are you more like the designer builder? Like, what do you guys prefer? We feel like you're more comfortable with, or you're more of in line to?
We do, like, I feel as a home haunt, we do everything. It's not like one area we really do in specific, because we have us that we do the haunt, and then we have a couple of the people that help us build, but it's like you kind of have to do everything, not like at Knott's where you apply for a job to be a lighting supervisor or something like that, and you're just specifically in that category. But I like lighting and stuff. I like doing the audio stuff and designing these scares too. But building is fun too. I like that, but it's just not my strong point. I can build, it's just not my strong point.
Yeah,
so.
like you're right. As a home hunter, you have to do everything.
Yeah.
So the guy who has to finance it and everything from A to Z, and convince my wife that it'd be okay to do it this year. I'm going to go bigger.
That's the biggest responsibility.
That is the biggest responsibility, right? So
making her happy.
I have to do everything, and what I'm always looking for is how can I allocate this to someone else? What can this person's going to volunteer today? Well, what can we give them to do? I'm the person that's just divvying out tasks.
Okay.
You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Same with Jacob. I will. all these things that he's been doing with the social media, the editing and the sound effects and the DMX light programming and painting and building walls. It's like, okay, you're going to do this today, and I need you to do that. And with the editing and stuff, I'd give him some of the basics and he just ran with it, Now he's getting really good at it, and I can't take a whole lot of credit for that other than just, giving him a little push down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I think about the video editing and stuff too. I'm getting into now. He's always done that his whole life. He's kind of done 3D animation and video editing and stuff. So I've kind of seen him do that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
It makes sense now. Okay.
So back in middle school, I took a little class. It was like a kind of a news class where like we would go out and film stuff, like school events and stuff that we would do, and we would edit and all that. So that's where I really got my start for video editing. And then he kept bugging me because we were editing on some like crappy Windows Movie Maker or something like that on little laptops, and he's like, dude, hop on Premiere, like Adobe Premiere, because that's what I edit on, and that's what eventually, if you want to do editing, that's the industry standard. And I'm like, oh, it looks, because I've seen him edit all my whole life. I'm like, that's
looks too complicated.
Way too complicated. I'm not going to do that. And then freshman year, I took a class. It was like digital media or something like that. And then that's when they started teaching us Premiere. And I was kind of forced to. But then I'm glad I did, because now me and him can really talk about these. If I need some help with something, he can help me do this edit or whatever. If I don't know how to do something, he can tell me. So editing on Premiere was really the change point for when I started really getting into major editing and doing stuff for the Haunt and doing freelance stuff. So.
Yeah, you've been doing some stuff for me for a fundraiser I was involved in, and the teaser promos for the Art Dracula one's the stupidest one, but it's hilarious. It's just people love it. They're like, "Who's doing these?" I'm like, well, Jacob, and he's tagged. Contact him. It's like, yeah, the Art Dracula. I could not stop laughing. That dumb video, and then the one for the Nightmare on Elm Street fundraiser.
Yeah,
that stupid song that we had in was stuck in my head. It's Dream Warriors from the band Dokken, and I purposely am like, let's use this song because the chorus was really catchy. And then all week I kept singing it in the high-pitched, rocker voice from the 80s. And I'm like, this damn video it's
What's so funny, we hopped on a Discord call and you're like, I want to use this song. It's like Dream Warriors by Dokken, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then after I hopped off and he's like, I had this kind of like callback to when we were on the call. He's like, it's going to get stuck in your head. It's going to get stuck in your head. And I'm like, okay. So I look it up, I play it, Dream Warriors. And I'm like, oh gosh. So then he wants me to put that in the edit, so then I was like, I started editing with that music, and I just kept at it, played back and forth, over and over again. And then by the time I sent it to Rick, like I was just singing it in my sleep. I was just
it was perfect because everyone was like, dude, this video is cool, but that stupid song is stuck in my head. I'm like, that's the point. It's marketing. It's catchy.
Yeah.
Even when I started promoting the event for the Frida Center here in downtown Santa Ana, it was their fundraiser for their nonprofit art house. And they're like, this video's amazing. I was like, yeah, you should contact the guy that made the video. Maybe he could do some stuff for you guys. And, but that was the whole point, which was an amazing video. And obviously you did the promo video for episode 21 and then for this episode as well. So
yeah, our Dracula one was fun to make too, because I was watching his videos right when we hopped off the Discord call again to talk about what you wanted me to do. And you were like, oh, you have free range, do whatever you want. And I was just like, shoot, because I was watching his videos. He's a scare actor, but he has some comedic elements to his style. And I'm like, shoot, how do I do that? So I really had to watch his videos, and I'm like, what I do for my editing style is I have to really look into music first. I look on YouTube for like horror soundtracks or horror thriller soundtracks, and then I kind of just go through those until I just close my eyes and listen to it. I'm like, okay, that one sticks. So I throw it into the timeline. And then I kind of just look through his YouTube channel while having that song on repeat. And I just kind of get some clips in mine, and I just download them and I throw them in. But with Art Dracula, I'm like, shoot, he has scaring and he has comedy. So the first half was like, okay, here's like this like really intense music. And then there's like the record scratch. Like,
the needle, and then the stupid Mexican music came on. And I was dying at work. I'm like, I can't even focus right now. I work for a medical device manufacturer, and I just started working on the 3D printing department. I'm learning how to do 3D printing, and I'm watching this dumb video. I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. And I was like, Jacob did an amazing job. So Everyone loved that video. It's got some insane amount of views. It's so dumb, so dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question, and this is for the both of you. Either one can answer. At what point did the crowds get bigger and bigger? It seemed like there was more traffic, more people coming to you guys' haunts throughout the years, especially last year.
Yeah. Well, we've always had since we started these, like our whole street, like I said, was kind of a lot of houses did Halloween stuff, right? So we've always had a big crowd of people. So like when we first did the haunt when I was a kid, we had a steady stream of people, but it's nothing like we had now. In 2018, I started doing a little bit of, I just created a social media page for us. I did like an Instagram page, and we didn't have a lot of followers, maybe like 100, 200, something like that. But it got our word out more. So like that year we did see a little bit more people, maybe a couple, 300 more on top of what we already get. But then we're like, okay, we're getting more people. So for the next year, throughout the whole year from the end of Halloween to the next Halloween in 2019, I was just doing like marketing the whole time. And that's when we started getting our bigger crowds in 2019. And just also getting in ties with the haunt community, the SoCal haunt community is I think what kind of made us more popular too. And the SoCal haunt list, we put ourselves on that too.
That's funny you say that. I was going to ask the next question. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So SoCal haunt list, we put ourselves on there in 2019. Well, it's funny because I think he started it in 2018, and I heard about it and I'm like, oh shoot, we don't know our dates yet, because back then we would only do like the last weekend of October. So I was like, shoot, I don't know our dates yet. So I submitted super late, and then I found out I didn't make the list in 2018. We were on like the online list. I'm like, shoot. So I was so mad about that. In 2019, I'm like, okay, I have to submit it early this time. We're gonna submit it early so we can be on it. So once we got on that, we got a lot more people to come out. Even when we were at the haunted house up in LA, we went to like 2 weekends ago. Shook, created by Murder House Productions, was amazing. Carrie, played by Desiree, really nice lady we met there. She was playing Carrie and she was doing all that scene. She comes down, she's like giving us like a stink eye evil look that Carrie does, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my gosh, I love your guys' haunt.
She broke character. She's just like the wide eye. She's I love you guys' haunt. It's like, yeah. Oh, thank you, but you're creepy.
It was so funny because like Carrie is so like this like evil person, like she's like killing all these people and stuff, and then she's like, oh my gosh, I love your haunt, like the nicest person. And then she was like, oh yeah, like make sure you guys are on the SoCal haunt list, because I came out in 2019. That's how I knew about you guys. We were on the haunt list. And then I'm like, okay, shoot, like yeah, like that, it really helped us to get our word out that year.
It's always interesting to hear how far people will drive to see different haunts on that list, because they're haunters. They're committed. They love home haunts.
It's a community. It's family.
If you build it, they'll come.
We plan to go to speaking of home haunts out of the area, so we're gonna go to Reign of Terror this year, and I think the farm haunt, they're not that far from Reign of Terror. It's like I think 20-30 minutes. So like we might as well let's go check him out. And a really nice guy. I chat with him online here and there, and
Tim Fowler, I think.
Yeah, they were at the spooky swamp meet in LA about a month or two ago. Who knows how long they were there, and it's like their Dr. Diablo. Yeah. Curiosities. I think that I'm hoping I'm not butchering that.
Curiosities caskets.
There we go. Yeah. Really cool. I love anything of that era. Now just so we, like you said, it's people will go out of their way to come down. It's just we were at 1870 last year. We were done. Michael's like, that's a wrap. It's 9:55. And I was already taking off all my costume. He's like, hey, I forget what haunt came down from out of the area. I forget who it was. They came down and they're like, hey, so-and-so just got here. We're like, all right. And we ended up talking for like another hour. I'm like, I got to work tomorrow. I got to take all this crap off my face and take these contacts off. It's like, but again, it's like, we appreciated seeing them come down. So.
Yeah, when 2019 was, that's when we got on the haunt list, and then we actually we had the haunt list there so people could take it and stuff. And I think he did that challenge where like you would have to take a picture with each haunt, and whoever went to the most haunts that year got like free tickets for Midsummer Scream or something like that. I remember him doing that. So we got a lot of people from that, and then from those people posting about our haunt and SoCal haunt list, I think that's where we got a big amount of our followers. But it wasn't really until 2020 when we got like a huge amount of people. Like last year, I think we got 3,000 people who showed up over 6 nights.
What news channel showed up to you guys' house?
we were on the radio station.
Oh, the radio, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, radio station.
We were on what? It was.
And the Orange County Register came out.
Oh, yeah, Orange County Register came out.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, these guys are getting so much attention. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Too much pressure. I want to hide in the fog. No, thank you. Like, I don't like attention. It's just.
But yeah, so 2020, it was because obviously Knott's was closed down and all that, but it's also because in 2019 I created a big announcement video, because I would before the C word,
Yeah.
I would go to Disneyland like every weekend and stuff, and I really wanted to design stuff after like COVID hit. I'm like, well, shoot, I have nothing to do. It's like, well, Pirates Cave's coming up soon. It's like, why don't I start doing stuff for that? So we came back from our annual trip in Minnesota, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna do an announcement video for this year. Like that, I think that will create the really big hype for this year. So I storyboarded like like a brief shot list of like 2 miners opening the chest, and then a week later we shot it. My Uncle John and my Uncle Eddie, and we shot in our garage up against like hot walls that we have, the castle walls we put up, and we shot it in there. We filmed it and stuff, and then we filmed the day before. We filmed like the shots of uncovering the chest with the hands in our friend's backyard.
That was so cool.
Yeah. And then right before we announced that, we did like a little giveaway, and a lot of people started. I was like, it's one of those things where like, oh, follow us and put 3 of your friends in the comments or something like that. And that's what got us like maybe another 200 followers or something like that. And then along with the social media marketing in that video, and then with Not Scary Farm being closed down and stuff, I think the home haunts really got a lot of attention this past year. And that's when we got like a huge amount of people. Like we were worried to one point, like when I remember we were painting like the garage door black or something like that. And then we got the call that they wanted us to be on the news station. And my dad was like, is this going to be too many people? Like, I feel like we might get too many people that it's going to like concern the neighbors when there's like too much traffic and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. Because you don't really know, because it's not like everybody just says, oh, I'm going. It's kind of just like people show up and you don't know how many people are going to come to this event. So, but it was definitely nerve-wracking leading up to the event last year, if how many people are going to show up. But it was a good crowd.
Yeah, worked out just right.
Yeah, no problems. So it was a good year.
Two things. So I was looking at the behind-the-scenes photos on your guys' website. And it was the one photo you guys are doing, like the shoot in the garage, and I like on the it was like a side angle of like a shot of you guys doing the video, and I love seeing the Star Trek pinball game. I was like, wow, dude, that is cool. They're incorporating pinball machines, and I was cracking up. And I love pinballs. I mean, that's why I say I love that. It's like the behind the scenes stuff.
Well, it's so funny. If you would have framed that shot like a couple inches more to the left, you would have seen like whatever his name is, the bald guy's dude from Star Trek, like his face in the camera, like inside the pinball machine. Like you would have seen that pinball machine, like
Picard.
Picard. You would have seen like 2 inches over. Like it was literally like so skinny. Like we framed it up like just so you wouldn't see the garage door on the side, so you wouldn't see that pinball on the other side. Like it had to be perfect. Like you couldn't see anything else, but it worked out. We had our good friend, my good friend Zachary Shinuda, who's actually going to USC Film School this year, who helped us out with the little he gets into video work, so he kind of helped us set up the shot and the camera work and all that. So big thank you to him to help us do that video. But yeah, it was fun. Definitely a big year for us last year, but we're more excited about this year, what we have planned. So yeah,
I'm assuming, Dave, you're the Star Trek fan based on the picture I saw of you younger wearing the mask, and there was a poster of, I think,
Next Generation or something like that.
It was
Star Trek 5 or something.
It was the one, I think it was like The Wrath of Khan. And only you and me are going to get that reference.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, someone's a Star Trek fan. Then I saw the pinball, and I was like, the behind the scenes, there's a pinball machine. I was cracking up. But see, I grew up watching the movies. My dad was a fan of the original show, but my dad loved New Generation. He loved that.
Next Generation.
Yeah, he loved like Data and like, was a Captain Picard, and then just, I forget his name. Geordi. Yeah, he loved all those characters.
Oh, wow.
No one's going to get that reference besides you and me.
But yeah, that was... We had to we have a bunch of arcade games in our garage too. So like at first when I was thinking about shooting that video, I was like, oh shoot, where are we going to shoot this? I was like thinking about going out to like Irvine Park up in the hills where they have like some rock stuff. I'm like, oh, we have to go film out there. And my dad's like, why don't we just move the arcade games over and just film against those walls? And I'm like, oh shoot, that's true too. So like we had, like, our whole garage of games was just like slammed into one corner of the garage, and we were just like filming in like up against the walls. But it was a cool video to shoot, and it makes me for the announcement video that we did this year. It inspired me last year to do another one this year. It creates the hype, I believe, for haunts.
You're gonna have. I'm gonna. One year, I'm expecting like a Star Trek future theme haunt. So let's start working on that now. So
that's his dream. My dad loves aliens, and he wants to do that one day. But it'd be so expensive.
It'd be so expensive. But that is my dream, to do like an alien themed haunt.
Because the lighting package alone would probably be so expensive.
What was the haunt they had at Knott's? It was like space.
Dark Entities.
Did you like Dark Entities?
I did. It started out. It needed some work. It was kind of. It just wasn't up to snuff. But then what I loved about Knott's is they just keep improving it. I think they know, hey, this needs some work.
They're like, yeah, this is a little light.
Because we'll get the season pass and we'll go
every Thursday night.
10 different times, and you could just see them improving it. It's
every weekend.
And I got to tell you, at the end of that season, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I liked how it's supposed to be, the future, but it's like if I'm watching a movie from the 70s and the tech was like outdated. And that's what I loved about it. I'm like, this looks like it was the original Alien movie in 70 whatever, but the tech was like, the future is 1989. Well, it's 2019. And it's like, it looked low tech, but it's supposed to be the future. And I loved it. And they did like the synth wave 80s theme music. So that's what I loved about it. People, I didn't care for it. I'm like, I love the theme. I thought it was cool. I thought they could use a little more aliens, but it progressed over the season. So
yeah, if we ever win the lottery, we're gonna do an alien theme.
Okay, I see. So I have it recorded, so I expect that in a couple of seasons. So
send us some lottery tickets.
Cool.
That too.
One more side note. So when I was over at 1870 with the boys, it was one of two things. Either they came from Pirates Cave, the guests, or they were headed there. Like the hat trick was 1870, Pirates Cave, and then Hull House.
Yeah.
Like you had to do those three in Orange County. Everybody's like, we just came from Hull House. I was like, did Bill's Monsters have flannels and Vans? I'm all cool. And it's a running joke with me and him. And just, we just came from Pirates Cave. Oh, we're going to Pirates. I'm like, you guys got to go. Try to break character. I'm like, hey, come here. And I'm like, you guys got to go here next. And I'm like, okay. I was like, tell Bill to make sure his monsters are not wearing Vans, okay. And it just.
Well, that's awesome. That's what we do too. So like, if somebody's like enjoys the haunt and comes up to us, they're like, oh my gosh, I loved it. And they're talking to us, we're like, oh, go check out this haunt down the street. We'll talk about like 1870, or we have this really cool haunt like 5 minutes from us. He doesn't really have a social media, but it's called Phantom Hollow, or something like that. Yeah, but he does this really cool whole like graveyard thing in front of his house, like a hearse and stuff.
That's cool.
Like a crypt. He does a really good job, and like
amazing.
We always bring people over there because it's only like 5 minutes from us.
Not even that, it's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes, and like it's amazing. Like he does such a great job. We want to give him recognition for that. We got to know him better last year. We're like, he doesn't have social media. I'm like, dude, you need a social media page because more people will come out to your haunt.
Yeah, or let's the SoCal haunt list, something. Yeah.
Yeah, but even he was telling us like, kind of like with us, he already gets a huge amount of people just because he's in that. Our area is a big trick-or-treating hub. That's where everybody goes. And he says, I already get a huge amount of people, but like, sure, yeah. So he started a social media page, and I think that's going to get him more popularity this year.
I got to come this year for sure, besides a rehearsal night. Like, I plan on taking a night off or two to go do other stuff. I got to come out, check out what you guys got planned for this year, which we're going to talk about eventually, and just to check out the other haunts.
Yeah.
Little side story. So when I was playing Gravedigger Joe over at 1870 Haunt Manor for Michael, Bill's like, hey man, we're going to come over to Hull House. I'm like, I'm going to come check it out. He's like, no, come in character. And Michael's like, I have the copyrights on that character. I'm like, no, you don't. And then Bill's like, well, I want Gravedigger Joel to come over. I'm like, okay. I was like, that's just funny. So little side story.
That's awesome.
Why a Pirates theme, which we talked about, which I love. Like you guys, did you seem like once you tried one year, it just took flight and you're like, this is the concept. This is it. This is what we're going to do from now on.
Yeah. It's always important to me to do a family-friendly haunt. I do not like blood and gore, and truth be told, I don't even like horror movies, to tell you the truth.
I disagree with that. I love horror movies. Don't think it's father like son.
Yeah, that's an area we differ. There's a few, but so I knew it needed to be kid-friendly, but then also make it interesting enough for adults, and I think that we achieved that. We recommend still like 11 years old and up.
There's some scary things.
And we actually set up a time before the haunt even begins for kids younger than that, where there's no monsters in there. A lot of times we're not even running the soundtrack or nothing like that. We have a tour guide walk them through. Okay, and here's where a monster might jump out at you, you know. And,
that's cool. So you do a family like
chest,
the
chest
on,
will
right?
open up here. You kind of explain them what happens. Some of the effects are running, but some are not. And then usually got one effect where we'd have the treasure chest would open up, and if you want the one scare, you can hit this button, you know. And that was the most entertaining part, because the parents would be like, let's push the button. The kids would be, no, don't push the button, don't push the button.
The devil was going to pop out.
I'd say it's about a 50-50 thing. 50% of the time they would never touch that button, and then
that's cool.
50% they would. So, you know, that's always important. Just the larger demographic, making Halloween and that event fun for the largest demographic.
That makes sense. Not everybody wants the touchy-feely immersive haunts or blood and gore. You want to make, like you said, you want to have a bigger demographic. It's like some people like immersion, lighting, detail. They like the jump scares. They like the storytellers. I went to and I wish they were still here. I went to a home haunt in Fountain Valley. It was called the Haunt on Daisy Avenue, and they literally, I used to live in Fountain Valley. They were like 5 minutes from me. And I found them by accident, just some social media or whatever. It was 1,000 square feet in their front lawn and their garage. And it was so cool. And they had different themed rooms throughout the different areas. I went on family night and I was still scared out of my mind. And I was like, I accidentally went family night. I'm going to come back on normal night. And I'm just walking through and they had dim lights and then the music was playing. There was someone just coming out from backstage with a prop. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, girl, oh, we're sorry. I'm not showing you how much of a chicken I am. Coolest home haunt. And then I came back on a normal night and they're like, oh, you're that guy that came the other day. And they're like, and they went into the maze. We got some fresh meat. I'm all great. I was like, that's great. And you know, I'm 6'4", 280 pounds. And I'm like, I admit it, I'm the biggest chicken, but that was the coolest haunt because it was just for a home haunt. And what they did in 1,000 square feet at the same time, they cater to kids. They cater to the adults. Yeah. I feel the same thing about Boot Hill and Irvine.
Oh yeah.
I took my mom. You know, she's an older woman, obviously. I saw the videos. I saw the scares. I think I went by myself prior. And that what they do, in a small space, it's just so cool.
It's amazing.
So even in the queue line, my mom was like the sliders were getting her. And I knew where the scares and the gags were, the air cannons, whatever, the actors. And I'm like, hey, Mom, come check this out. And they're like, when the cowboys would jump out and scare the hell out of her. She loved it. She was hooting and hollering. She's like, you did this on purpose. She's like, have you been here before? I'm like, I've never been.
Well, that's funny. Like that was like the first home haunt that my dad brought me to. Because we've always kind of knew about them way back when. I think I started going when I was probably like 10 years old or something like that. But he would bring me there every year, and we kind of got to know the people that would work there. So Julie, I think her name's Schmidt. Really nice lady. Back when I would come when I was like 10, I was still really scared of stuff. I haven't been to Scary Farm or anything yet. So I would be like, oh, like I'm too scared to walk through or whatever. Like, oh, okay, we'll pull all the monsters out, and you can just walk through and see it. And I thought that was so cool that they kind of catered to little kids.
See, it's like you said, demographic. You cater to multiple people.
And it's so funny, like we came back like 3 years ago, maybe when they had their walkthrough, and we would go every year. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you got so big!" And I'm like, "I didn't even know you knew me." Like, I thought, like, but I guess we came. I always forget we kind of went every year, and she kind of knew us. But now it's cool. In 2019, they actually came out to our haunt for the first time.
That's cool.
And it was really cool to have them out, and she actually bought one of our shirts, and she's a really nice person. I know there's lots of other people with their haunt too, but Julie's one of the ones that I always keep in contact. Glenn. Yeah, Glenn too. Glenn.
Yeah, we love Boot Hill. You know, you got a big shout out to them. They do a tremendous job. And
I was super impressed.
You know, we take a lot of cues from them. Yeah. How they economize their space, but they're just like us. It's all about the art and the detail.
Exactly.
You know, cram as much experience as you can into the limited footprint you have.
Yeah, because back then when we would go to their haunt, our footprint was kind of small too. We're like, okay, they do really good work in such a small amount of space.
It doesn't feel like it's only, I think 900, maybe 1,000 square feet.
It's just kind of like a pathway from the driveway up to the front door and back.
I was like, this does not feel this small. It just, the tech, the gags. I think they had a water effect in there, like amongst their tombstones.
The crypt, the pond.
And then like those day glow paint and the neon lights and the air cannons. I couldn't stop laughing when the air cannon hit my mom. Like if she had a wig, it would have blew her hair off. And she was screaming her head off. She said, "You did that on purpose." I'm like, "Okay, Mom, I did, but now I'll take out the dinner and make up for it." So yeah. She had a blast, that old lady. So
yeah.
Anyways, I think we're at a stopping point, boys.
Okay.
We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk about future plans for 2021. And then also we're going to talk about Awaken the Spirits and what you guys' experience was this past weekend. This is episode 22 with Jacob and Dave Larson from the Pirates Cave Haunt, and we'll be right back.
The Creepcast, hosted by Rick Creeper 11.
Don't you dare try to escape. The Creepcast with Rick Creeper shall return.
Hey everybody, this is Rick Creeper 11 from the Creepcast podcast. Once again, you're hearing my voice because we're talking about vampfangs.com. Yes, vampfangs.com. Vampfangs has been established since 1993 out of Salem, Massachusetts, New England's only vampire shop. That sounds kind of spooky. Host of the Endless Night Salem's Vampire Ball. I can speak about this personally because I've purchased things from them. Some of the various haunts or like horror cosplay photo shoots that I've done, I've acquired my fangs, more importantly, my contacts, which are FDA compliant, approved, and verified from your eye doctor, is shipped here in the good old US of A. So they came through for me. I've had bad experiences with other companies where contacts weren't the greatest quality, or they're shipped overseas, so either they're really bad quality or just didn't arrive here on time. So Van Fangs was definitely a lifesaver, but they have other things as well. I already mentioned special effect contacts. They have special effect makeup, fangs, apparel, sunglasses, bags, fragrances, chokers, you name it. Everything is based out of Salem, Massachusetts, and they've got a cool little store over there. Check them out, vampfangs.com online or at vampfangsofficial at Instagram. Tell them Rick Creeper sent you. You guys will love it. Trust me. Check them out. vampfangsofficial, Instagram. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Where do you think you're going? There is no escape from the Creepcast with Rick Creeper.
You're listening to the Creepcast.
Okay, guys, we're back at it. I'm here with Jacob and Dave Larson from Pirates Cave Home Haunt. Okay, boys, so let's talk about 2020 Origins theme. Well, what was like the driving force behind that and to become more creative with the backstory? And also, who's Calico Jack?
Well, the driving force for 2020, I think, to tell this story was really because we couldn't do our normal walkthrough, and we wanted to dive deeper into this haunt that we put on. It's like we do it year after year, and it's like, why not create this in-depth story for what we do? And so it kind of gives people to something to look for when they're going through it, like, oh, that's from the story or whatever. But yeah, so the driving force, I think, in 2020 was just me being bored. Like, I wanted to do something more with our haunt than just like a home haunt. I wanted to create a story behind it. Like I said, I would just go to Disneyland all the time on the weekends, and I wanted to create my own story. It's just something to show people for what I did. But yeah, so I created the story for last year. My dad tasked me to do it, and then I would send in the versions, and then once we both agreed on it, we locked it in, and then we created the rest of the show. But Calico Jack, we kind of decided, we were thinking about what should be like the main villain for the haunt, and we didn't really want to use Blackbeard because he's kind of like too well known, and we didn't want to use like Davy Jones or anything because it's everybody knows that. So Calico Jack is a real pirate. He was during like the 1700s or something like that. He was a big pirate lord. He would go stealing stuff from people and all that pirate stuff. So but yeah, so we revolved our story around him. How he stole gold from a leper colony, who was transporting it from location to location, and they went on board, stole the treasure, and killed all those people aboard that ship. So basically, God, who was with those lepers, the missionaries, he put a curse on that gold.
Interesting.
So the people this curse on them turned them. So whenever they touched this gold, it kind of turned them into like made them deformed and stuff, and like kind of deranged. So
make them almost like lepers.
Yeah, like lepers. So kind of make them feel the pain that they stole from. So they know that Calico Jack the crew knew that Calico Jack wanted them to go steal this, so they kind of blamed it on him. So they rise up in mutiny and throw him into this chest.
I remember that.
Yeah, so they're about to throw him overboard when they realize that the ship is about to crash into mainland, these rocky cliffs. So then they quickly try to navigate out of there, and they crash into the rocks, and then the whole crew ends up dying, and Calico Jack's locked inside of that chest. So, yeah, that's who Calico Jack is.
That's pretty cool. I saw some behind-the-scenes photos of previous years, and a certain man getting a 5 o'clock shadow beard painted on his face. Can you tell me who that was?
Oh, that was me.
My.
I love the costume, by the way. It was very, very piratey, very elaborate. So I was like, okay, maybe you're Calico Jack, but I didn't know the backstory until now.
Well, that was before Calico Jack. I was just a pirate,
well, you played it very well, so.
Kind of telling the story a little, not the Calico Jack story, but just kind of the story of this treasure chest and how, if you touch the treasure at the end of the hallway, you become pirates like these guys. And that's what I did for that year.
Would you ever bring back that character? I kind of want to see the character now.
I don't know. I was told my pirate accent was pretty bad. So.
Well, you could work on it over the years,
It's so much to do that I don't know if I can go back into character.
Maybe
show we just wear Pirates Cave shirts and fix problems and deal with issues.
So that's what we kind of do now. So like back in 2019, that was the last year I really acted in our maze, and then 2020, that's when I kind of stepped up to be like a show manager. Me and my dad. Like my dad, we would both act. We would kind of both help out because we need more people to help us out, like inside the maze and stuff. But last year we had a good amount of people that we could both be outside talking to people, and if there was problems that came up, we could go fix them. So last year we kind of stepped out and let all the other people.
And it was so nice too because we have so many neat people show up, fellow haunters and people from Halloween Horror Nights and Knott's Berry Farm, and we want to talk with those people a little bit because we're not going to see them again probably. So that's another bonus of being out front.
That's what happens. You guys become the bosses. You can't have fun sometimes. You gotta put on your big boy pants and shake hands and kiss babies and meet other hunters and so forth.
Well, all our fun is building it.
Well, it's true. That's
enjoy
true.
That we could spend days out there just lighting stuff, and we enjoy doing that and tweaking things.
I'm expecting two things in the future: a Star Trek themed future haunt, and then eventually I want to see Calico Jack. I want to see Dave as a pirate with that horrible beard.
I got it.
They're cool.
Star Trek: The Next Generation fights the alien.
That'd be cool. Okay, that'd be cool. Hey, I could might be available that year, so I'll come play an alien or something.
Actually, you're talking about Calico Jack. That's our goal this year. So after kind of bringing him into this story we had for last year, Calico Jack, you're actually going to see him in the maze this year.
So is your dad playing Calico Jack?
No.
Oh, come on. What's the point then? Come on.
So yeah, we have a full character design for him that I threw up like 2 months back. We kind of in the story, the origin story, we wrote that when they threw him into the chest, when they opened up the chest with the lepers, they found out that there was really going back, when they opened up the chest, there was only stack of Bibles and silver coins. So they were kind of upset because there was no treasure in that chest with the lepers. So when you see him this year, I kind of made that into his design. So he has some of those remnants of Bibles and silver coins and kind of grunge underwater look to him. So that's kind of what all went into my design from what we told last year in the origin story.
I had no idea it was a real pirate. That's kind of cool. You guys played off that. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of expecting a pirate this year and a certain person play him. So
yeah, you'll see him. He's going to be haunting your dreams.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you guys were just at the Awaken the Spirits put together by the creative team of Midsummer Scream. How was that event for the Pirates Cave team, and what did you guys talk about?
Yeah, so we got invited by Rick West to come out and speak on a panel. It was on Saturday, the last panel of the day, with multiple other haunts from SoCal. The Farm Haunt, Beware the Dark Realm, and Prism Haunt. We got to speak with them, and we got to announce what we were going to do for our 2021 season.
Cool.
Which is Pirate's Cave, Curse of Calico Jack. So, basically, the story for this year revolves around... It's basically the sequel to the origin story last year. So, the miners basically stumble upon this chest in these sea caves, and they open it up, right? And they release all these pirates from the chest, Calico Jack and his crew. So basically, this maze, which is the sequel, The Origins, takes place like 15 minutes before they open that chest.
Okay.
So you're going on a mine tour founded by the Larson and Sons Mining Co. So they are doing tours to fund their excavation to find these pirate artifacts in these cliffs.
Cool.
So you're going through this mine. You're going through these mines, getting a tour of their equipment, telling you about some of their history. And you even get to go down in an elevator.
Nice. Anything else we could share without spoiling it too much? Are we still doing an immersive show? Are we doing a full-on walkthrough?
So this year is a walkthrough.
Cool.
We've been doing the walkthrough since 99 or whenever my dad started it. So Origins was kind of just a substitute for the C word. We couldn't do a walkthrough. We're going to go back to our origins this year, which is the walkthrough. So we want to continue this story that we developed this last year into the walkthrough. So we want to continue the story.
So the 2021 theme this year, is it a present day? I know like last year it was like, this is the history, what happened, what led up to this event. So this is like, let's say based in present time, what's going on, like these mine tours?
I don't know if it's present time. It's maybe like the 50s.
No, it's the 1940s.
The 40s.
Cool.
Okay.
So the 1940s, kind of like the mining era. How I kind of decided upon that era is Indiana Jones. So that's usually that's the time period when Indiana Jones and all those archaeology time period was alive. So I picked the 1940s. I like the creepy kind of old music from the 1940s too that I can kind of implement into the haunt this year.
That's cool.
So we picked that era for the 1940s. So you'll see kind of some old set pieces from the 1940s that we've actually acquired from family members and stuff, and different set pieces from that era that you'll see inside the haunt this year.
That's cool.
It starts out very normal. It's like just a mine tour. You're going to pay for a mine tour and go see some of the artifacts and possibly see some of the mining going on, and then at some point it all turns to hell.
I like that. The fact that you're going back to the traditional walkthrough, and also you're gonna have some cool like gags and props, and are we still gonna hold on to some of the immersive not necessarily the show moments you guys had last year, like the presentation? We're gonna have some of that still.
Yeah, so still some of the elements.
With our haunt, what we like to do is we like to stop people briefly to kind of enjoy the scene. So like in the octopus scene, we kind of have like the door shut where they continue on the pathway, so they stop on that bridge and see the Kraken come towards them. That's cool. And when the pirate skeleton would open up the chest and tell you the story, we stop them. We kind of stop them in each of these rooms to tell them a little story. Okay. That's what we do. We're gonna do this year. For each of our rooms, we kind of gonna stop you and tell you a little story.
Yeah. Cool. We don't let people run through our haunt. We put too much work. You say you're gonna stop and you're gonna see all this
painting I did.
Yeah. This black wall you don't even know is there. We spent hours painting that.
Yeah. Plus, we've always been challenged with our footprint. And so it's like we can't have endless hallways for people to run down and. Yeah. No, we're gonna stop you here. It's our typical walkthrough setup is kind of like 3 different mini shows, and rooms that we stop you in, and you're gonna experience this, and you go to the next one.
That's cool because you guys are gonna have these little show moments, these vignettes, where people feel it's a personal. Me personally, it's a personal experience. You feel engulfed or you're immersed, exactly. And it's like this is just like a jump scare, boo, and you move on to the next one, and people don't realize how much work goes into like the detail, building, design, exactly, concept, gags. I mean, how many times have you? This would be a great location for an air cannon, and you're troubleshooting the stupid servo because it's not working, or just. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing regards to that, but the different thing this year is we have expanded like 3 times the size. Wow! I didn't want people to think it's the same footprint. Yes. That's the biggest. addition this year is we are going to go into the backyard. You know, we've never been into the
Oh,
backyard.
wow. So you guys are exploring new world then.
Yeah, so it's a new territory for us. So
the front yard's huge as it is, and the garage, and now you're going into the backyard?
Oh, yeah. There's actually more of it in the backyard than in the front yard.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
At this point. You know?
So, yeah, but one of the biggest challenges for this year is like for some haunts, they go into the front yard, the backyard, and they can go back out to the front yard with the 2 side yards. We only have 1 side yard.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things is how do we get people up that hallway looking one way and they come back down that hallway and it looks completely different. So one of our goals was like one of our biggest challenges. How are we going to do that? So when you go up the hallway, it's going to be completely normal. And then when you come back, it's going to be completely different. It's going to look like you're in a completely different part of the mine.
You're going to have to talk to your wife about building a crawl space that goes through the house, through the living room, under the dining room table. It's like, I'm sorry, honey, that's the only way they could come out. Man.
Well, that was the trade-off this year is we had to negotiate. We were able to get the back patio, which is right next door to the master bedroom, which can be a problem, you know, in a marriage relationship. We said, if you give us that, we won't have the front door open up anymore, you know?
Okay.
Because our previous haunt, the front door would open up. There was a projection down the hallway, scare, and then it would close. So that door was opening and slamming shut all night long.
I bet she loved that.
She's very supportive. Yeah, we let her a lot,
good.
You know?
That's good. That, you know, the family's coming together. I love the fact that you said it's 3 times the growth.
Oh, yeah. 3 times the size.
The backyard. I know of one thing that you guys worked on, which you shared with me. We were at Reign of Terrace. I won't mention that. I'm looking forward to that. And I was like, really? You guys are doing that? And then something else you mentioned earlier, which I won't say. But the fact I'm like, okay, so this is getting very, not intense, but I mean very detailed with the experience people walking through. I was just like, dude, this is getting pretty big. And what's the square, if you don't mind sharing, what's the square footage of the front of the house you guys are building on?
Oh, gosh.
I've a guesstimate.
Yeah, I'm so bad at those estimates. But I think it's your average front yard. You know?
It's a big lot. I mean, you guys are going in the backyard now. And then the stuff that Jacob shared with me where you guys are planning on doing, I was like, wow, this is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just a technical challenge. I mean, there's the flow challenge of the people, obviously with the side yard that Jacob talked about that keeps me up at night. But there's also been some amazing technical challenges. And you mentioned we have an elevator, and the elevator runs on air suspension, the kind of air suspension you'd have in a lowrider car. And we've been testing it and running, and it's very cool. It's one of the neatest things we've ever created. And I know that people are going to be talking about that.
It's going to be huge.
But it took some, you know, I had never dealt with suspension airbags and controlling them. And so we had Preston come down from
Rotten Apple 907.
Yeah, Rotten Apple 907. He was amazing. He came down and just showed up one day and helped us hook up all these valves and circuits and all airbags and stuff like that. And that was just a blessing to have him because I didn't know any of that stuff. And now we know quite a bit of it.
That's cool. The community once again came together and helped them. It's not like, nope, we're not going to share that with you. It's like, no, well, I'll come help you guys. I'm excited to just see how passionate you guys are, and it's grown. And we have a walkthrough with an elevator and something else I'm not going to mention. And I'm just like, man, this is so cool. It's like, you know, if you need a 45-year-old out of shape scare actor, I might be available. So,
we'd love to have you.
Yeah, geez, no pressure here.
And any other locals that might be listening, you know, Pirates Cave always needs help.
I know a lot of people that don't want to work, and they do, and they love the haunts on the smaller scale because it feels a little more personal. And there's more like I could develop my character, you know, with the haunt. I could have, you know, influence on like the theme of my character and more influence. That's really cool. I'm looking forward to this year. Do you guys have any dates locked in yet when you're running exactly, or we're still working on that?
We're going to be running October 16th through the 31st, so the last 3 weekends of October.
And I'm assuming you guys are on the SoCal Haunt list again this year?
Yes, we are. So we will be on that list, and so it's something to look forward to.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this. And, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I finally get to go as a patron and not just go on a rehearsal night. I get to go through the walkthrough. And I mean, just the tech and the gags you guys have. And lighting. I love the soundscape you guys did last year. That blew my mind. Yeah. And I was just like, man, this is theme park quality.
But yeah, it was fun for me because this new expansion allowed me to do a lot more audio design. So we have probably like probably 6. I edited like 6 new audio tracks for this haunt this year.
Oh, wow.
Just like ambient and show scenes, and that's not even including like some of our new triggers we have for our actors that pop out. There's lots of new audio in this year. That's something to look forward to. I'm really excited to show that. It's gonna be really cool. I've been doing audio since maybe January.
Wow.
February.
Beginning of the year? That's crazy.
So I started back in December. I started doing concept art. So I have like concept art of like all the new rooms we wanted to do and stuff. So I started way back when, and then even in March, back in March we started building the elevator. Like we've had an elevator in our backyard since March, and that's insane. August now. It's been like sitting there for that long, but it's just new territory. We've never done the backyard before, so we wanted to make sure we had time to figure all these little kinks out. So yeah,
because we knew we didn't want to expand more into the front yard, because then it just becomes really unsightly, and then that's your garnering a lot of attention, good and bad. And neighbors start complaining. So I was like, let's go into the backyard. That way it's kind of all hidden, and we can spend as much time out there building stuff as we want. Because
that totally makes sense.
My ultimate dream someday would have an arrangement like I believe that Reign in Terror has, where you leave that set up all year
round. That makes too much sense, right?
And then you just tweak it and make it perfect.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be my dream. So having the backyard kind of helps with that. We can spend as much time out.
I never thought about that till you presented it. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anything you would like to plug, Jacob? Your videos and your artwork designs?
Yeah, so I do freelance video editing and graphic design. It's called Jacob Larson Designs. I've been doing video work for obviously your podcast, Rick, and I've been doing it,
which is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been doing it for other haunts too. I've created a 10-minute queue line video and storyline for a haunt in Irvine this year called the Gershon Dungeon. I've been working on that. I've also been doing logos for the Bloodshed Brothers. I've been doing logos for Corona Haunts. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm kind of starting this up, juggling that in the haunt, which is fun, but I'm kind of getting my name out there for what I want to do in the future. So
where can people find you?
It's going to be Jacoby Jacob on Instagram, and I think it's Jacob Larson on Twitter, Facebook, and all those sites. But for the haunt-wise, it's Pirates Cave Haunt on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, so we have all the social media platforms.
I didn't know you guys have a TikTok. I had no idea.
We don't post much on there, but it's just another way to get our word out. So another way to get ourselves out there.
I'll definitely put the links in the description of the podcast for both you guys. Mr. Dave, anything you'd like to plug? Your line of work?
Oh, I'm a motion graphics designer, 3D animator. I do work for commercials, television commercials, and corporate videos. So, if you're in need for that kind of work, I would love to help you out.
He created the 3D animated skull we had last year in our origin story.
Yes, I did create that. It was fun.
I love that. It makes sense, father and son team. You guys are just amazing. You have a bright future ahead of yourself. You're obviously a smart man and creative. I can't wait to see. I'm going to predict this. You're going to end up at one of the theme parks one year.
That's what my hope is.
We talked about it off mic. Just you're a smart young man. Obviously, you get it from your dad, which, you guys are just an amazing team. Just what you guys created at home, it just blows my mind. I'm like, this needs to be at a theme park just one day, which it's going to lead up to eventually my next question. Where can we find Pirates Cave, your guys' website?
It's piratescave.com, I think, on our website, and then just all of our social medias. There's Pirates Cave Haunt on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, if you just look up Pirates Cave Haunt,
you'll get
YouTube, Facebook, it pops up. You'll see our logo.
Yeah, we have a bunch of YouTube videos of our haunt too. We actually did a documentary of our making of Origins last year, a 4-part series on YouTube. So definitely go watch those. That's how we designed it, and many of the struggles we had with like the DMX lighting and all that, and how to write a story and like choreographing all the actors. It's definitely worth your while. Like if you ever want to see how we made that show last year, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
Cool.
Yeah, Jacob took the reins on that and edited the whole thing and shot it, and he just did a tremendous job. It's a work that's worth seeing. A lot of blood, sweat went into that video.
I'm excited for this year. You guys have so much to bring to the table, like just an amazing arsenal. So my favorite part of the episodes, and everybody likes these, it's funny because I just created this out of nowhere. So normally I end every episode with the fantasy question. and this applies to both of you, and you can answer it accordingly. So you're approached by a private investor that would like to back you guys in the Pirates Cave. Money isn't an issue. Where am I at? Money is an issue. You have free range to design your concept, but it's mid-June. Haunt season starts in mid-September, and the big events are approaching you guys, and they want to know what you guys are doing this year. What do you guys do? What's your concept you come up with? Do you grow? Do you hire a build team? Do you strictly manage and engineer design? What seat do you guys take? So it's June, and you guys are on crunch time. You got a private investor says, hey, I'll back whatever you guys want to do. You want to rent a warehouse? We'll rent a warehouse. You need 10 grand, you need $100,000, I will provide it to you. But it's already midsummer, and there's a bigger demand of Pirates Cave. What do you guys do?
Well, it's, as far as the role I would want to take, would be designing the theming and designing what rooms we would have in there and how you'd have it laid out and what tech you'd have in each room and making sure we have all the pieces of the puzzle together as far as the tech and the building of it all. But then at that point, it'd be a matter of delegating it all out, hiring people. I feel like I'm a good delegator. I like to plug in people where their skills are best suited,
okay,
and put them in places where they're excited to be. And I'm always looking for that as far as our volunteers that show up.
Okay. Anything you would do, let's say you get a warehouse and you come up with let's say a water effect or like a dark ride that goes into the ocean or just, he's like, here's $200,000. You guys could build whatever you want long as it's within budget. On top of your normal budget and your props and everything.
I think you'd definitely be going through a full-size pirate ship at that point.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then onto the wreck of, the land of where it wrecked. And, it's endless what you could do. And that would be exciting very much.
But as far as that, I think if I had enough time, I would maybe even want to switch the theme.
Okay.
One of the themes I've always wanted to do, it's like maybe for the past 6 years now or something like that. I've always had it in mind. I've always wanted to do a Michael Jackson's Thriller haunt walkthrough.
That's cool.
I've always had ideas for it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I loved the music video growing up. I obviously wasn't a kid back in the 80s who grew up right when it came out. But I've always loved it since I was a kid. And I always thought it could have a lot of potential. And nobody's really done it before. I know there's kind of some problems with Michael Jackson and all that.
Yeah.
But it's I would love to just do that eventually. There's a bunch of cool set pieces, the old house where all the zombies kind of invade, and the movie theater in the woods where he turns into the werewolf. I think that would be really cool to put on.
So you replicate the music video and the whatever, I think it was a 10-minute little movie.
Yeah, I think the first half of the maze maybe wouldn't be the musical part of it. I think the last half would be that kind of musical part of it where the zombies come out of the grave and stuff. That's when Vincent Price starts talking
okay,
creatures crawl in search of blood.
Or something like that, yeah. And towards the end, but the beginning would probably be Michael Jackson turning into the werewolf and stuff, and kind of running through the woods, chasing after the girl. So
okay,
yeah, something like that. I think it would be really cool to eventually put on.
We would have to have your dad out there doing the synchronized dance. He's the lead. He's the lead on it. He'd be Michael Jackson's leading the zombies dancing. Your dad had to do that. So
we'd have to get Boot Hill because they actually did that at the end of one of their haunts. They did the Michael Jackson Thriller dance.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just something I would eventually want to do. But.
Okay, well, like I said, it's your guys' fantasy. You can do whatever you want. So,
well, if I could change the theme, I didn't know I could change the theme.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want.
It would definitely be an alien, set, just full bore spaceship and haunted hallways and alien and all the people that have been ravaged by the alien and just technology and robots.
Wait, alien or aliens?
Well, I think you'd be doing both, potentially.
Would you do a throwback to a sci-fi movie from the 70s with low tech, or would it be future 2025 or something? That's not even that far ahead, 2050, 20, that's 3 years from now. Jeez. Would it be low tech, budget, low tech from the 80s to 70s, and it's supposed to be 1995, or would it be way in the future, 100 years from now?
No, it'd be the same kind of tech you'd see in Alien, Because I'm just a big fan. That game, Alien Isolation, is still my all-time favorite
That's
video
cool.
game. And how immersive that was, and just I would want to create something similar to that.
A throwback, then. I love that. A throwback. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely attend that. Yeah, okay. Well, boys, thank you for coming on. I'm looking forward to 2021 and either participating or come just hanging out, checking out the haunt.
Yeah.
You guys have just so much to offer to the community, and I love it. And Jacob, you have a bright future ahead of yourself.
Thank you.
All you viewers got to let Rick know that you want to see him at Pirates Cave.
That's not good. We'll see. I don't know. I might retire.
We're working on him, trying to get him to.
I know they're trying to convince me to come work at Pirates Cave. So we'll see. It's too soon to say. So
Yeah, you might see him in a hard hat. And
you might see me as a miner. Who knows? It's just I'm so one-dimensional, stiff as a scare actor. Geez. Well, thanks guys for coming on. I love the stories, the background. I love what you guys are doing this year. It's amazing. I want to thank fanfangs.com, the official sponsorship of the Creepcast. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming on, the listeners supporting the podcast, and I think that's a wrap. Episode 22. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
The Creepcast, hosted by Rick Creeper11. You've once again barely escaped the clutches of the Creepcast with Rick Creeper. Next time, you may not be so lucky. To find out more about the Creepcast and Rick Creeper, follow Rick on Instagram at RickCreeper11. Until next time, be sure to keep that lantern light burning. You never know what could be lurking out there in the dark.